Al-Barak would return. So here we have this horse named Thunder, in the stadium up there in Denver. and then we've got Mr. Putin riding bareback, without his shirt on this red horse in Siberia, telling the Russian people through the photography that he is in charge. So, Gary, we've got a white horse and a red horse this year. And we don't have the tribulation period yet.
Not
so
yet.
What you're saying is the four horsemen of the apocalypse could show up before the tribulation period begins.
At some interval prior to the tribulation. Now, Peter quoted Joel on the day of Pentecost, his first great sermon. He quoted the part about the sun shall be turned to darkness, the moon to blood, before the great and notable day of the Lord come. That's Acts 2:20. Peter quotes Joel. And some people are asking him, in essence, what's going on? What is this that we're seeing with people speaking in a divine way and with the Spirit of the Lord moving? And Peter answers, well, this is what was spoken by the prophet Joel. And J.R., what I think he was doing, he was bracketing the age of the church, which began with signs and wonders and which will end in a period of signs and wonders before the tribulation, as Joel put it, before the great and notable day of the Lord come.
Mm-hmm. So the battle of Gog and Magog could happen before the tribulation period. How long before is the big question? Give us your thoughts.
Well, my thought initially is that Ezekiel talks about that battle, and he speaks specifically of the time that it'll take to clean up in the wake of the defeat of the great northern enemy, and that time is 7 years. Well, J.R., a lot of people have tried to make that the 7 years of the tribulation, but we know that during the last 3.5 years of the tribulation, Israel is going to be harassed. They'll have to go into hiding. They won't be doing anything at all. Therefore, if they're going to be cleaning up and in a rebuilding phase, they're going to have to start at least 3.5 years before the tribulation. So we could be talking about as much as 3.5 years prior to the tribulation, the battle of Gog and Magog taking place. And now we have to ask, when's the church going to be taken out? In the context of Elijah and the battle of Gog and Magog and all these catastrophic events that will occur prior to the tribulation. When will the church go?
Well, I have long felt that the church will be raptured in the midst of a worldwide nuclear war, possibly the battle of Gog and Magog, because when the smoke clears away, we'll be gone, and the world will think we just were blown up in this nuclear exchange. The world will be coming out from under a terrible war, whereas possibly a fourth of the population of the planet will die during this 1 day's conflagration. When the bombs come, we could be taken just as the bombs arrive. We could be taken out, and therefore the Antichrist would not have to explain what happened to all the Christians, because everybody would be looking for somebody, and there would be people missing all over the planet, regardless of whether they were Christians or Muslims or Buddhists or whatever, or atheists. There would be a lot of people missing, but not all would be taken in the rapture, only the Christians. The rest of them could be evaporated.
Now, quickly, because we're running out of time, the prophet Zephaniah has a latter-day prophecy. And by the way, read Zephaniah and you'll see the most amazing description of the tribulation. But he says this in Zephaniah 2:1-3, and as Zephaniah is writing to Israel, he says, "Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired." That certainly sounds like Israel. "Before the decree bring forth, before the day passes chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be that you shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger." Wow, what's he saying to Israel, J.R.? It looks like he's saying, come together, go back to the land, get your affairs in order before the tribulation period. because horrible things are going to be happening, and you need to prepare.
As a matter of fact, Gary, with the 1897 Zionist Congress, with the 1917 Balfour Declaration, and with the 1948 birth of Israel, Israel has returned and is returning before the tribulation period sets in. Zephaniah here, though, says that there are other things that will happen before, and basically Israel's preparations for the upcoming Messianic kingdom.
Yes. Now, to recap just a little bit, what do we have here? We have events happening prior to the tribulation period. What initiates the 7-year tribulation? Daniel says that it is the Antichrist himself who fortifies, who strengthens a covenant. That is, he ratifies the covenant, or shall we say he signs it, he approves it. He approves the covenant with the house of David for a 7-year period. And J.R., I believe that covenant has to do with temple worship. He gives them the okay to go up on the Temple Mount and to worship in their temple. Now, prior to the signing of that covenant, which initiates the 7 years, we know that Elijah is going to come. I believe Moses will also come, but that's another story. We know that there will be a war. Joel says that there will be catastrophic events that will even obscure the sun and the moon. That's prior to the tribulation. And therefore, we have a situation in which imminency is now a factor, because today Russia is a world power. Persia is on the rise. The Middle East is in great instability. The Arabs have risen to power, as prophecy said they would. All of this is coming together, and the Jerusalem Temple Institute has prepared the garments and the instruments of the priesthood. J.R.,
yeah.
Imminency has taken on a whole new allure.
Yes, the temple worship is also just around the corner as Israel awaits the events to take place. But when will the church be raptured? Well, the church has to be raptured before the tribulation period. And according to what you're saying here is it can't happen just minutes before.
No.
There's got to be some more things taking place during that time. Logistically, Israel could experience some of these things like the appearing of Elijah, the battle of Gog and Magog, and we could be out of here as early as 3.5 years before the tribulation period even sets in. So, hey, look for the imminent rapture. If you don't know him, you need to trust him today. I'm J.R.Church, Gary Stearman. Until next time, keep looking up.
Prophecy in the News is a viewer-supported ministry sponsored by our many friends across America and in your area. For your gift of $10, you can receive a special edition of our current program on audio tape, or for a gift of $20, we'll send you our programs on videotape. For either order, call the 800 number on your screen right now.